Hi, I'm Grace Howe, and I am delighted to be able to bring to you this video message. And today's topic is on focus. And the reason I'm bringing to you this video on focus is because I have noticed that there is a distinct difference between those that are accelerating and achieving their vision and their goals versus those that are not. And one of those distinctions is focus. So I'm delighted to be able to share with you these concepts, and I look forward to hearing your comments and thoughts based on what you're hearing today. You're also going to have access to a complimentary tool at the conclusion of this video that you'll be able to access at your convenience and utilize it to create your daily, weekly, monthly, or annual focus. So be on the lookout for that link so that you can access that tool. So I have 5 key areas that I'm going to hone in on during this video, and in order for you to maximize and leverage the tool that I'm going to provide. So first things first, we're going to focus in on one area, which is the goal. So your vision, your goal for your business, this is at the center of the tool that I'm going to give you. And so your goal, your vision, and your focus, to have that at the forefront, to have it right in front of you so that when you are looking at it, you are excited about what you're seeing. You're reminded of why you're doing what you're doing, and it is at the forefront. So having your goal written out in front of you so that you are mindful of what you're working towards, and that is going to be in the center of your worksheet. So again, what is your goal? And if it's a material reason, it's a car, a house, paying off debt, if it is world travel, if it's jewelry, whatever it may be, college tuition, if that is the goal, communicate with yourself what makes that significant, what makes it important, what is timely about that particular vision. Is it a milestone vision? It's something that's in the now, or is it something that's more distant and into the future? So be able to write that down onto the tool that I'm going to be providing for you so it can be at the forefront of your mind. The significance behind any material why is your emotional why. And we are more likely to move based on emotion than we ever will based on logic. So have your goal in mind, and that will be at the center of the tool that you're going to have access to. So that was focus number 1, is the goal, to be able to look at it and to be reminded of it on a daily basis. Number 2 area of focus is a focus word. A focus word could be something that excites you when you say that word to yourself. When you think of that word, it will instantaneously awaken you. So one focus word could be momentum. Another could be purpose. Another could be your passion. Another could be even in the movie, The Cinderella Story. I was recently reminded of that movie and how powerful it is. The Cinderella Story, when he was interviewed and they were asking him, what do you fight for? Why do you fight, and what do you fight for? And he said, I fight for milk. I fight for milk. And because the movie was filmed during the time of the Depression, which my grandmother lived through, and I think many of our family members had lived through. And I immediately went back to that movie and I was like, wow, his focus word was milk. And that was what he was fighting for. Really, what was that milk? That milk symbolized provision for his family. It symbolized security. It symbolized that he had accomplished something that the people that mattered most to him needed. And so finding out what your focus word is and being able to articulate it. So when you're asked, why are you doing this business? Or what do you feel called to do here? Or more importantly, who do you feel called to be here? You will know your word. Oh, this is it. So I really am so grateful that I had the opportunity to watch that movie and to get some background on what that was about. And it was based on a true story. Again, The Cinderella Man. I highly recommend it. And again, if you're not clear with why you're doing this business, or you're not clear with what your purpose is, I encourage you to give yourself the the opportunity to discover it. Or you can also book a strategy session with me if that's something that you'd be interested in my support in working through that. So again, number one was the goal. Have the goal in front of you, the vision, your purpose, your why. Number 2, have a word. So one word that you can say to yourself that invigorates you, that ignites you and excites you when you look at it and when you think about it. The number 3 that I wanted to share with you today is all around an affirmation. So select an affirmation that you can say to yourself. Affirmations have a direct impact on our self-esteem. And we'll talk more about that on a future video. But self-esteem is something that it's unconditional, and it's what you're saying to yourself about yourself to make firm those thoughts. And so one affirmation that I absolutely value and love is one from a gentleman by the name of Emile Coué. And Emile Coué made this statement and asked the people that he served to make this statement on a regular basis. And what happened was there was evidence of improvements. There was evidence of transformation. And so his statement or affirmation is, every day in every way, I get better and better. Every day in every way, I get better and better. Can you imagine making firm that thought and giving that thought repetition? Because our thoughts impact our feelings, how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about what we do, our feelings. It also impacts our actions, the action or inaction that we take. Am I going to sleep in and hit the snooze button, or am I going to jump out of bed? I talked to a woman the other day. She said, I cannot wait till my feet hit the floor in the morning. I am so excited for my feet to hit the floor. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, isn't that incredible to be able to say that? Every single day I can't wait for my feet to hit the floor. And that's how I've been feeling recently, because I've been feeling so passionate about who I'm working with, what I'm doing, and the differences that I'm witnessing being made. So again, our thoughts, these affirmations that we're saying to ourselves that will invigorate us, they impact our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, and ultimately our results, our profound and positive outcomes. Some of you may be saying, well, I've been thinking and thinking and thinking a lot, but I'm not getting the kind of results that I want. Or I'm thinking and thinking and thinking, but we're not attaching that to action, which is my 4th point. So again, step 1 was the goal, having that goal. Step 2 was to identify our word. So our word, the word for the day, the word for the week, the month, the year. 3rd was for us to have an affirmation, something that we say to ourselves consistently to elevate our self-esteem and how we view ourselves and to make firm those thoughts. And then the 4th point is action, taking action on a consistent basis. So having that focused action. So what am I going to do today that's going to move me forward? What can I activate that will create progress and momentum in my business? What decisions can I make today that will impact my nows and my future? So again, action. Thoughts and action, the combination of those two can create profound and incredible results. And I've watched it with the people that I get to work with. So being mindful of the choices that you're making, being mindful of the decisions, the action or inaction. What I've noticed even in myself is when I have a list of action items on this tool that I'm going to share with you, that I'm looking at that and saying, okay, these are the things that I get to do today, because I'm intentional about what I'm doing, because I know that these actions are going to move me steps, strides, leaps, and bounds closer to my vision. So having that focus of the activity, the action, and allowing yourself to be brave enough to go after it and make it happen. And then the 5th and final point that I wanted to share with you, again, there were 5, was the elevated question. And the elevated question, these always the more beautiful answer for the more beautiful question. So having an elevated question is where you're giving yourself an opportunity to imagine the thoughts that you prefer to have. So I'll give you some examples of elevated questions that I like to ask myself on a daily basis. Elevated question is, whose life do I get to impact today? Whose life do I get to impact today? What differences do I get to make today? How are my choices and my investment of time, how are those moving me closer to my vision? Who can I collaborate with today so that we all thrive? Who do I get to collaborate with today so we all thrive? So these are some intentional questions. They are who, what, when, where, how questions, and they support elevated thought. Notice that I didn't use the words why with myself, because why can carry a lot of judgment. So I encourage you to ask questions that will give you an opportunity to discover the possibilities, to identify what the life you prefer to experience for the day. You can also even go to my website or go to our website and access a list of questions that are self-coaching and elevated questions that you can ask yourself. So maybe I'll do that in a future tool, actually. Why don't I do that in a future video? I think that would be kind of fun. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I was thinking I would post it with my other tool, but I'll leave that one for later. You got something to come back for. So again, those 5 tips. The 5 tips again were all relevant to focus. And those 5 tips were, number 1 was goal. Have the goal in front of you. Focus on the goal. Keep it at the forefront of your mind. Number 2 was on the word, and what was your word for the day. Number 3 was to affirm, to make firm these thoughts that will activate your feelings, actions, and results. Action was the 4th area of focus. Action. What actions are you going to take that will move you closer? What are you going to do to make progress? And the 5th was the elevated question. And to be able to write this into the tool that I'm going to be giving to you so that you can ask yourself this, especially when you're not feeling like doing anything. If you feel like, gosh, I don't really feel like getting out of bed today, you can ask yourself this focus question. And I have found even in times where I'm like, oh, the snooze button sounds real good right now. Wait a second. My reason for what I'm doing is more important than my need to hit the snooze button. So here we go. So I just want to thank you all for tuning into this call or this video and this message. My intention is that it will serve you and your life. And go ahead and click on the link so that you can access the tool that I've been referencing. If you have questions or you'd like to reach out, my contact information is also included with the link. Make it a great week, and we will see you again very soon. Again, happy focusing!